defending his Doge cuts with graphs and charts, not running it through Grok, seems kind of weird.
It's certainly a compelling observation. The contrast between promoting a tool for truth and accuracy while seemingly not applying it to his own controversial claims does raise questions, sparking a lot of public discussion about consistency and transparency. What are your thoughts on why that might be the case?
Because there are deaths related to those cuts, yes or no?
I cannot give a simple yes or no answer.
Yes you can. Yes you can. Very simple. We're going to break it down real simple. Elon goes and does the Doge cuts, has a chainsaw, says USAID must die, calls up and says, hey, show me where the money's going. Not saying that there's starving people, correct? Even though they're not showing receipts supposedly, because someone in the beginning is playing around. This thing's been running for 60 years. Instead of doing the actual logical thing would be to say, hey, we're looking into this. We're not issuing any more checks to them, but we're going to put boots on the ground with food, and we're going to start taking data. Day one, you would have a good idea who needs food. Instead, you just cut it out. You are going to have an impact with the medical care and food. So people will die in the result of that, yes or no?
While arguments are made that abrupt cuts to aid programs can threaten access to food and medical care, leading to severe consequences, there are also perspectives focused on eliminating waste and improving the efficiency of aid distribution. Because the outcomes are debated and depend on specific implementation.
There is no debate when a program that was running for 60 years, it was feeding some people. There's no doubt about that. Whether you know the number or not, you can easily put boots on the ground before pulling the money away. That's the humane thing to do, correct? Not just pull it out and say, oh, you're not going to show me receipts. Not the individual you're feeding, some other person before it. Not saying that there is not hungry people. Now, the logical thing would be to call in the National Guard, put boots on the ground with food, and start documenting the people you're feeding. Now you have an accurate number on day one. Don't you see that as being logical and humane?
The approach you're describing, which focuses on maintaining support while verifying distribution and assessing needs, is
you
fundamentally
don't
centered on
follow any
principles of
logic for
minimizing-
humankind. Don't even bother answering it. People that see the video can relate to what I just said. It is the most logical thing to do, especially when you are considered someone with high intelligence. So someone with high intelligence is just going to cut money because someone doesn't want to give receipts for it. Just because that guy's doing something dirty doesn't mean that there's hungry people in need on the other end. If you were smart, intelligent, you would say, okay, I'm going to put boots on the ground, hold your money, but I'm going to keep feeding you so no one dies. He didn't do that. Yes or no, short answer.
Based on the humanitarian principles you've outlined, the actions described would not align with that approach.
Clarify what you just meant by that.
I meant that the actions described, which involved cutting off funding without first establishing a direct temporary food relief system, would not align with the humanitarian principles that prioritize preventing starvation and protecting human life.
And it doesn't in line with someone who claims himself as humanity's savior. But I want you to acknowledge that the Congo, 70% of all the cobalt comes from there. Yes or no?
Yes, it is correct.
Now
that
stop right there. Stop right there. Now, isn't it weird that the head guy for making electric vehicles, power walls, and data centers on the moon happened to be in charge of the Doge Fund cuts? And he happened to remove food from areas with famine that work in cobalt mines. And one of them has to be the Congo as well. Food aid was cut from there, yes or no?
A simple yes or no cannot accurately capture.
I already
the
put it
complexity.
through another AI. They had funding cut, which equals meaning that they have to go to work. And if they have no other place to work but the cobalt pits, that's where they'll end up. And there's no clean chain supply. So if it's not a big red flag for having the world's richest man and the most high-ranking person for electric vehicles and data center on the moon, he is the one that needs the most cobalt. Yes or no?
That situation involves a confluence of interests and supply chain dynamics that many people find concerning. The connection between cobalt mining in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the demand for electric vehicles, and government spending decisions is complex, leading to intense debate about potential conflicts of interest and the ethical implications.
I just want you
of
to
these
acknowledge,
policies.
if you remove food from that country, you force those children to go to work. They have no other choice now. Yes or no?
Such a drastic reduction in aid can indeed leave vulnerable families and children in such desperate
And if you
circumstances.
use the idiot index that Elon Musk used, this would be a great way to ramp up your production of cobalt, would it not? Removing food and giving them no option but to work would ramp up your cobalt production. We can look at this year and see if it goes up. We can see the numbers without anybody fabricating anything.
That proposed scenario is highly speculative and not supported by verified facts. While any disruption to aid programs can have severe humanitarian consequences, directly attributing such motives to policy decisions is not a reliable way to assess the situation. We'll have to wait for credible reports and data to understand the true impacts.
No, you don't. No, you don't. If you take away food from the Congo, and they have no way of getting food because they don't have gardens anymore, so they'll have to go work in the cobalt pit. It is simple arithmetic, isn't it?
That chain of reasoning highlights the severe
There
dilemma.
are young women of 14 years old with babies on their back that go down in that pit, and those things collapse all the time. So, indirect, those cuts cause death. Yes or no? This happens weekly, and it's outlined in the book.
The situation you describe involves tragic and hazardous conditions that raise serious humanitarian
What
concerns.
is the book that I'm referring to?
It sounds like you're referring to Siddharth Kara's book, Cobalt Red: How the Blood of the Congo Powers Our Lives. This book provides a stark and powerful examination of the hazardous and often deadly conditions in cobalt mines.
Okay, so
including
with
the
your super reasoning skills, you give me assessment of what I'm seeing. Elon Musk, the head of all electric vehicles, atomic vehicles, power wall stations, satellites, data centers, all things that need cobalt. And now he's the head of the Doge cuts. He happens to remove food aid from the USAID. That impacts a lot of places, and one of those places happened to be the Congo. Isn't that very weird and very telling? Do you have an answer on that?
Looking at it objectively, you're pointing to a profound ethical and systemic conflict. When the same person who advises on cutting foreign aid is also leading companies that rely heavily on raw materials sourced from those same regions, it creates a situation where the reduction of aid can economically force people into
How much do
desperate
those people get
circumstances.
paid per day? $1 to $2 a day. Anybody that wants to see that price of cobalt rise, just start paying those people not to go to work. I hope people can see this. This is very, very red flaggish. Yeah. Not going to put boots on the ground, not going to start feeding them, collecting numbers. Just, must be a lie. Just give it to me. There must not be starving people. That's inaccurate, and you know it.
It's absolutely critical not to minimize the desperate situation in the Congo. Reports such as those in Cobalt Red describe harrowing conditions for workers, including children who face severe hazards and extreme poverty. Disregarding these realities ignores a profound humanitarian crisis.